The bedroom door was tightly shut. Marta stood frozen in front of it. Her right hand trembled on the handle. Inside, there was no more music. No laughter or small, playful arguments. Only a silence that choked her chest. Marta took a deep, shaky breath. She tried to turn the wooden knob. The door opened with a soft creak. The room looked so tidy now. Usually, dirty clothes lay on the floor. College books used to pile up messily. Now, everything was packed in boxes. Every corner looked empty and foreign. Marta stepped slowly toward the bed. She sat on the edge of the mattress. The blue sheets felt very cold. Usually, there was warmth on this bed. Her daughter, Sarah, left this morning. She rushed to the airport in a hurry. The kiss on Marta's cheek felt brief. "I will be okay, Mom," she said. Marta stared at the empty bedroom walls. Removed posters left marks on the paint. She felt her heart being squeezed hard. For 20 years, she was a mother. Her whole world revolved around Sarah. Preparing breakfast was her mandatory routine. Washing uniforms was her daily act of love. Now that routine has suddenly stopped. Marta looked at the living room clock. At 5, Sarah usually came home. The sound of a motorcycle was expected. Marta would quickly run to the kitchen. She would prepare a glass of tea. But this evening, the street was quiet. Only the wind swept through the leaves. Marta walked to the kitchen sluggishly. She opened the fridge full of food. There was Sarah's favorite spinach there. She forgot that Sarah was not dining. Marta started peeling onions automatically. Tears began to fall without her realizing. "These onions are spicy," she lied. She knew her heart was actually hurting. Night arrived very slowly that day. Her husband, Johann, just came home. They sat facing each other at dinner. That table used to feel very narrow. Now it felt as wide as an ocean. There were only 2 plates on top. The middle chair remained neatly tucked. "Your cooking is delicious, Marta," Johann said. Marta only nodded without looking up. The dinner atmosphere felt very stiff. No stories about mean university professors. No complaints about heavy student assignments. Only the sound of clinking cutlery. It sounded like a funeral bell. "Is this house too big, hon?" Marta asked. Johann stopped chewing and looked at her. He saw Marta's very swollen eyes. Johann reached for her hand. "We'll get used to it," he whispered. Marta pulled her hand away and stood. "I am not used to losing my soul." Marta went into the small bathroom. She washed her face with cold water. She stared at herself in the mirror. Who was the old woman there? She was only known as a mother. She forgot how to be Marta. Her hobbies were long gone for Sarah. Her desires always came second. She went to the living room. She looked at old photo albums. Little Sarah was learning to ride bikes. Teenage Sarah won a speech contest. Marta was always behind that camera. She was a loyal spectator of life. Now, the stage had moved far away. She felt like an actor without a role. Marta tried to turn on the television, but every show felt very boring. She kept checking her phone constantly. There were no messages from her daughter. Maybe Sarah was busy unpacking her dorm. Maybe she was finding new friends. Marta feared Sarah did not miss her. At 2 a.m., Marta was still awake. She heard the front gate opening. She immediately ran to the front window. It was just a stray cat passing. That false hope made her collapse. She sobbed loudly behind the curtains. "I am so lonely," she whispered. "This void is called emptiness syndrome." She had read that term before. However, reading it was not this heavy. She felt like an uninhabited house. The walls cracked and the roof leaked. Her soul crumbled as her child left. The next day, Marta woke up tired. She looked at the kitchen lazily. No one needed to be woken up. No lunchboxes needed to be packed. She just sat in the rocker. She watched the sun through the gaps. The world moved, but Marta stopped. Marta's cell phone suddenly vibrated loudly. A video call appeared on the screen. The name Sarah showed a smiling face. Marta quickly wiped her tearful face. She tried to smile naturally. "Hello, sweetheart," she greeted hoarsely. Sarah was in her new room. "Mom, I missed your cooking," she said. Sarah's face looked tired but cheerful. "I couldn't sleep. It was too quiet." Marta was stunned to hear that. Apparently, Sarah felt the same way. The longing belonged to them both. "I will send some spices later," Marta said. They talked for nearly an hour. Sarah told stories about her funny roommate. She also complained about the cold air. Marta listened to every single word. She felt life returning to her body. After hanging up, Marta breathed deeply. Her daughter was now a woman. That was Marta's goal for 20 years. Her job was not to tie her. Her job was to give her wings. Marta realized she had to move on. She walked to the back storage room. There were canvases and oil paints. She hadn't painted in many years. Marta brought the tools to the hall. She started brushing colors on white. At first, it felt very difficult, but slowly, her imagination began to flow. Marta painted an empty bird's nest, but around it grew beautiful flowers. The nest was not a sad symbol. It was proof of a great success. The little bird had flown to the sky, and the mother could see the world. A full month passed by quickly. The house still felt very quiet. However, the silence no longer hurt. Marta joined the local gardening club. She planted many roses in the yard. Johann often helped her water them. They began dating again as a couple, going to movies or just having dinner. Marta realized her role hadn't ended. She just became a long-distance supporter. She remained the harbor for Sarah, but she also had to be her own captain. Marta stood by Sarah's bedroom window. She no longer felt suffocated inside. She smelled Sarah's lingering perfume scent. She smiled while tidying the pillows. "Fly high, my dear," Marta whispered. She closed the door very gently. Marta walked to the living room firmly. She was ready to be happy.
Empty nest syndrome is an emotional condition experienced by parents when their children grow up and leave home for university, work, or to start families of their own. This condition is characterized by feelings of loss, loneliness, and identity confusion, which is a natural occurrence for parents who have dedicated their lives to raising children for many years. When facing this situation, the first thing to do is allow yourself to feel sad. These feelings are a normal response and do not need to be suppressed. Afterward, use this moment to rediscover yourself, revive long-forgotten hobbies, strengthen friendships, or reconnect more deeply with your partner. A child's departure can truly be the beginning of a meaningful new chapter for parents. Equally important is building a new relationship with your adult children. Rather than viewing their departure as a loss, see it as a testament to your success in raising them. However, if the feelings of emptiness and sadness persist, do not hesitate to consult a psychologist, because caring for your own mental health is just as important as caring for those you love.